Hi Taurus, and welcome to your October 2024 horoscope. Let's jump right into it. We start off the month on October 2nd with a solar eclipse. This is also a new moon in the sign of Libra. For you, Taurus, it's happening in your 6th house. And this could mean that there's a fated new beginning when it comes to your health and your routine. The solar eclipse is also taking place in the decan ruled by Uranus, the planet of unexpected change. So whatever happens might be unexpected and take you by surprise. I want to also give you the permission during this solar eclipse to take time to reflect and not to feel like you need to respond or take action right away. We have a lot of planets retrograde during the solar eclipse. So we really have already this energy of introspection and reflection. So make sure you grab that. 2 days later, on October 4th, Saturn trines Venus. For you, Taurus, this is your 7th and 11th house, and we see some sort of support between your friendship and your partnership. It's almost as if the time you spent with your partner allows you to show up and be a better friend, or vice versa. The amazing time you spend with your friends, the work that you're putting in towards being a good friend is also reflecting towards your relationship. On October 9th, we have Jupiter going retrograde. Jupiter is going retrograde in your 2nd house. So you will be considering whether you have been taking all of the opportunities when it comes to your finances, all of the opportunities when it comes to establishing more self-love and self-confidence in yourself. Have you perhaps been a bit haughty and saying, oh, well, this opportunity will come another time. Oh, I'll be offered a pay raise another time around. Shortly after, on October 11th, we also have Pluto going direct. And this is really, for the final time, the last time that Pluto will be in the sign of Capricorn. It's now on its way out, and at least in our lifetimes, it will never return again. For you, Taurus, Pluto is going direct in your 9th house of beliefs, of travel and education. So now it's time to put your money where your mouth is and to really showcase the purpose you have found in learning, the meaning that you have been able to establish by traveling, and also this sort of purpose and understanding of life you've been able to find by taking time to zoom out and reflect on the values of your life. On October 13th and 14th, we have quite an interesting 2 days. We have, first of all, the Sun trining Jupiter, which will allow us to feel optimistic, positive about the future, and just in general feeling like the world is our oyster. However, at the same time, Jupiter is also squaring Mars, showing to us that perhaps we're not able to take the actions to get there just quite yet. And if you needed more transits, on these 2 days, we also have an opposition between Venus and Uranus, really showing this pull between wanting to take creative ideas, wanting to do the unexpected, wanting to break the status quo, and at the same time also being a bit sentimental about the way that things are now and how beautiful and calm and peaceful right now is. Jupiter and the Sun are highlighting your 2nd and 6th house. So you might especially be feeling optimistic and excited when it comes to your finances and when it comes to your day-to-day routine. Then on October 17th, we have a full moon in the sign of Aries, which is your 12th house. So the moon is in your 12th house and the sun in your 6th. This means that you are able to have an understanding of your spirituality, or at least your spiritual practice, in a way that you haven't before. And perhaps you're able to understand what it truly means to be compassionate and understand what it means to be human and to let go of control. Pluto and Venus are sextile during the full moon, highlighting your 7th and 9th house, as we mentioned already. So while you're sort of contemplating your spiritual practice and the practice of letting go, there's also in the back of your mind sort of thinking about how this relates to your relationship. Maybe there's something in that area of your life you'll need to let go of, or how this relates to your values and whether that needs to be updated with this newfound spiritual revelation that you're receiving. On October 18th, Venus enters the sign of Sagittarius, or your 8th house. So this is a great time to dive deep with your partner, to be able to open up to them, to trust them, and to just talk about topics that are maybe a bit taboo, or topics that we don't really talk about with our neighbors or just somebody on the street. A couple of days later, on October 22nd, we have the Sun squaring Pluto. Even though it's intense, it's also a very quick transit. So honestly, I wouldn't be too afraid about the effects it might have. I think if anything, it will be something that will impact us for just a couple of days, maybe a week or two. For you, the square is highlighting your 6th and 9th house. So we see again your values up for consideration with the 9th house, and specifically now values that have to do with health and routine. Like I said, it's a fast transit because the next day, on the 23rd, the Sun has already entered Scorpio, or your 7th house. So from the 23rd onwards, if you want to feel alive and excited, you need to focus on your relationship. If you find at any point from the 23rd onwards that you feel maybe not as excited, a little bit blah, then it could be that you're not spending enough time with your partner, or if you're not in a partnership, focused on finding a partner, or just reflecting on what it means to be a partner. The next day, on October 24th, Mars sextiles Uranus. This sextile is highlighting your 1st and 3rd house. And we see this idea that you are communicating and you are finding it easier to communicate, to be courageous, bold with your communication, because you've been working so hard on your identity. With Uranus in your 1st house, you have been working hard on really figuring out who you are and what you stand for, and how you maybe even physically show up to the rest of the world. Finally, we close off the month on October 28th with a square between Venus and Saturn. This is happening in your 8th and 11th house. And it's all about trust and vulnerability with your friends or with the communities that you belong to. So in general, Taurus, I hope you're ready to examine your values. I hope you're ready to reflect. And I hope you are excited about all of the things happening with your friends and with your partner. And then, of course, we cannot forget focusing on your health and habits. Thanks for joining me, Taurus. I hope you enjoy October. And if at any point you feel like you want to learn a little bit more about that eclipse at the beginning of the month, then you can check out the live that I did all about this eclipse season. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.